Today it is time for a professional match of StarCraft 2, and what I've got for you is a best of 5 series of Protoss versus Protoss. Spawning here in game number 1 in the top right hand corner of the map, Everdream, playing with the blue Protoss probes from the United States of America. We are looking inside of the main base of Astrea. Now, Astrea has gone from being a relatively unknown pro gamer just a couple of months ago to apparently now the foreign hope. This man, and I haven't seen all too many of his games recently, but apparently he has been slaying top-level Korean pro gamers over the course of the last month or so. So I figured, let's go ahead and see how he does against someone of the caliber of his opponent. Playing in the opposite corner with the red Protoss probes from Korea, we have the, I would say, probably the best micro player in the world. This guy is ridiculously good when it comes to getting value out of his stalkers, disruptors, warp prisms, and all the rest of it. We have, of course, none other than PartinG. Every time I introduce PartinG, I'm all serious, right? I'm hyping him up, and then I forget about his clan tag. I think this is his North American account. So on the NA server, rather, he apparently is in clan Dickboy. I'm sure it's an abbreviation, guys. I'm sure it's DIC boy. You just forgot to capitalize it. Anyways, I actually believe that he mostly plays the NA server just for fun when he's like been drinking a little bit and stuff. And the weird thing is, PartinG, even when not even trying that hard, he's still sitting comfortably whenever he wants to in the #1 Grandmaster League position on the NA server. The guy is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm excited to see how someone like Astrea goes up against PartinG right now. Because, I mean, Astrea, like I said, you know, still a relatively new player in the pro gaming scene. He has been playing over in South Korea for, well, I don't actually know if he's back home right now. I believe there were some visa issues for, because of the whole, like, world situation as it is right now. I think he's back home right now, but regardless, he has indeed practiced over in South Korea for a significant amount of time. And sometimes pro gamers all of a sudden turn out to be ridiculously good after just a couple of months of practice. Anyways, already a little bit of build order variety right here. So this is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss, right? So PvP, after the change that they've made to the shield battery, it has changed quite a bit. And apparently, no one still really knows what the best way of opening up in this matchup is. So already you can see, despite both of these guys being really, really good, you can see Astrea going for the classic double gateway wall off right over here. So he can finish this wall off with just one pylon to prevent any adepts from shading in. PartinG, however, is going for the pylon right over here. So this now also allows him to position a shield battery here on the low ground if he likes to. You can't actually do that with the pylon right over here. I don't think that would fit. But he's also gone just for a single gateway. There it is. He's gone for a single gateway, then into the cyber core, and now into the robotics facility. And then obviously that quick nexus here on the low ground too. There is quite a bit of a difference right now in that build order already. So I'm excited to see how this one will end up playing out. Alrighty, so PartinG's favorite unit already standing out proud and tall on top of that ramp, preventing any of the opponent's stalkers from moving up there or any probes from poking in. There is now actually a sentry coming up as well, and 2 more sentries have been warped in. Well, have they been warped in? Nah, they've just been like, well, I guess they, technically speaking, still get warped in even out of a gateway, right? But anyways, they're going to be able to now move across pretty rapidly. Now, I like this. Astrea faking a proxy robo. Is PartinG gonna fall for that, though? I mean, he might trigger the overcharge right away. He sees the immortal immediately. You saw the panic right there with those stalkers. He's like, oh crap, there's an immortal. All right, well, if it was a real immortal, oh my god, look at this. You would probably have committed a little bit harder. PartinG obviously has no idea that this is an hallucination. Second hallucination right now going into the main base as well. I'm assuming this is gonna have to be something that PartinG will respect. There we go. He's sending his units now towards the main base, but this is just, yeah, a little bit of cheekiness right here from the player from the United States. I like it, man. Keeping the opponent pinned back. Now, obviously, it doesn't look very significant, but this allows Astrea a bunch of time, right? PartinG is just simply sitting there, certainly not thinking about moving out anytime soon, and those little moves, they do add up over time. Wait, what? Hold up. Cat attacked me? Yikes. Alright, that's a good enough reason to pause the game. Yeah, no, that's that's as good a reason as anything. Speaking of cats, actually, completely unrelated to StarCraft 2, we're actually getting our kitten on Wednesday. Oh my god. I might make a dedicated video to that. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Anyways, we're getting our kitten on Wednesday, which I'm really, really excited for. We've been trying to get one for a little while right now. Anyways, a long story, guys. I'm not gonna get into it right now, but yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really, really excited. So apparently PartinG's cat attacked him. That's not ideal. All right, couple additional gateways coming up. Blink is gonna finish up here in just a little while as well for PartinG. I think he's the one, honestly, to make a move here, right? So he's had that significant economy advantage now for a little while. Just opening up with a faster nexus just allows you more stuff as the game progresses. He's adding on more gateways right now. He certainly could go for an expansion if he wants to, but generally speaking, PartinG likes being in your face whenever this Blink upgrade finishes. So usually he's the kind of guy who's not afraid to like put a bunch of stalkers right over here, knowing very well that he's fast enough to transition towards that screen if he needs to. Both players now looking to take a third base anyway. But I do think that PartinG is going to be moving out here very, very shortly, because it's just the kind of thing that he does. That said, though, not too familiar yet with Astrea's playstyle. I've only seen a handful of his games right now. He does finish up his own Blink right now, too. And this is just kind of like in Zerg vs. Zerg, when both players are going roaches. Whenever you finish, like, you know, roach speed, it's really like, you know, there's not a unit that's really going to be able to catch up with you very easily. So you can kind of just move out onto the map and get a little bit more brave. Because you know, at least if you have Blink done, your opponent might not have it finished yet, but you can certainly try your hand at moving across the map. So getting a pylon cancel right there, not bad at all. Nice little bit of pickup microdel, as expected here from PartinG. Those little moves, they look easy. They're really not. Is he going to be able to get the Stalker here on the retreat? Probably won't. PartinG did already have a Phoenix over there as well, an hallucinated one to make sure. Oh, there he goes. To make sure that he could blink through that little bit of a bush there. Tried to now snipe some of those sentries as well, doing so wonderfully. Despite having Blink available, he still decides to blink right now using the Prism. Nice shot right there by Astrea on that Prism as well. Still though, PartinG is trying to bait out more aggression, and I think that this micro here is going heavily in favor of the South Korean pro gamer. There is a Disruptor available though, but he can split against that. Only one Stalker going down. One hallucinated Colossus also joining the fray. Not entirely sure what that one is doing, but it doesn't really matter. A couple of photon cannons are coming up as well. They're not done just yet. Ooh, massive Blink right on top of that Disruptor there by PartinG, sniping that one right away. Battery overcharge, though, is obviously available here, and that's extremely helpful. The third Nexus was not acquired by either player, so it's really coming down here to this battle. With an additional Disruptor coming up, and with those photon cannons finishing! Oh my god! Oh, that was so close! I thought that PartinG was gonna back up. Disruptor does get sniped there before the Purification Nova finishes. Extremely risky move there by PartinG, but it seemed like it paid off just fine. I mean, he's pushed back right now, but he killed 14 probes during the process, and obviously he's not quite done with his aggression just yet. Once again, blinks on top of the opponent's Stalkers. Nice little bit of target firing there as well by Astrea, but I mean, the only thing right now keeping Astrea in this game are these two bad boys. The shield battery obviously is nice too, but battery overcharge, well, it's going to be available again very shortly. Now it is. Yeah, these photon cannons will at the very least be like the lion in front of his base, okay, growling in. Now, beautiful Blink up towards that high ground with the Observer arriving, and that means indeed that PartinG obtains the victory in game number 1. Alright, so here we go. Game number 2 will take place on Eternal Empire. Now, I hope that Astrea can keep it together, because honestly, game number 1 is kind of like a lot of people would predict this series to go, right? I mean, let's be real. You may be really good at the game, but then when you actually face off against a top player, you notice what the skill level difference actually looks like, right? PartinG just simply microed better. He had better control of his units, and therefore he obtained the victory, and that was very clean. Didn't really make any mistakes, and he just simply, well, he obviously played a bit of a greedier opener as well, right? Going for that very, very fast Nexus on the low ground, so he had a slight eco lead. But in the end, I mean, it was just superior play there by PartinG, and it allowed him to obtain the victory relatively early on. So I'm excited to see what this game will bring. Already this pylon positioning here from PartinG, it is gonna allow him to go for that second gateway right over here to finish that wall off on the top of the ramp. Well, obviously he's gonna need a pylon over here as well to block any adepts from shading in. But yeah, this is a more classical approach for this particular matchup. Going for the double gateway, it's nice because you can go into double adept, you can go into double stalker, you can go triple stalker with a sentry, you can go double adept into double sentry, you can go double stalker into a sentry, and then, like, you know, there's a lot of variety. And generally speaking, this is what we consider to be the standard in this matchup. Now, PartinG, okay, he does not see this probe over here. And I like this move for Astrea. He had the probe on the watchtower. He's going to be able to check now the timing here of the Nexus. Most of the time, the Nexus will go down at the 20 supply count. So knowing that it's not there already means for Astrea right now that it is going to be a double gateway here without actually having seen it, right? I mean, technically speaking, there could be a bunch of gateways going up right over here, but the chances of that happening are very, very small, especially when your opponent still goes for a probe scout. And right now, since Astrea knew the timing at which the probe left this section of the map, he now also knows the timing of the probe going into his own main base. He knows that this probe did not like plant down a cheeky pylon right over there, right? Because the time just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So already I'm liking this position for Astrea quite a bit. Both players though have finished up their cyber cores. They're going into the warp gate upgrade. They're going into the double adept production right now as well. Both of them will be going for an expo, it looks like, here on the low ground in just a little bit, which yeah, is just a very, very typical way of opening up in this matchup. So we'll see what kind of tech route they decide to go for here in just a little bit. What's the follow-up going to be out of these gateways? All right, double sentry and double sentry. All right, so basically identical games. Now, is he going to check the watchtower this time around? No, he will not. So this is actually really good for Astrea. Once again, he knows exactly what his opponent is going for here, and he sees the timing at which these units are moving out. Astrea, though, sitting at the watchtower. He's got to be careful. Hello, you got to walk. He's a little bit late there. Yeah, so whenever you get the shades out, right, you always get the first hit in. So that adept is dead. I guess he's also going to be able to kill an adept, so it's not really the end of the world. Shouldn't be able to get the kill on the second one, right? I mean, as long as he shades away, that is. Well, already a shade being utilized right here by PartinG as well, but the 2 sentries are out. Probe here will complete that wall off. Ooh, and actually, oh my god, what? Astrea got a little brave there with that bad boy on the watchtower. He got tickled to death here by 2 sentries. He tried to get into the main base. It was an attempt, but yeah, did not quite happen there. 4 sentries here in total, actually, for Astrea going into the robotics facility. Same for PartinG, but he was not producing anything else out of those gateways there for just a little bit. Alrighty, yeah, so you can see the difference here. PartinG, couple more probes, and those additional resources have now gone into sentries here for Astrea instead. So 4 sentries, that's quite a lot. Alright, so both players have sent their hallucinated Phoenix towards the opponent's main base. That means that they can figure out exactly what is going on. PartinG sees the robo facility. Astrea sees the robo facility as well. Forge coming up here for PartinG right away as well. And yeah, this is looking like a fairly standard game of Protoss versus Protoss so far. Although there are more sentries here. Most of the time, I don't think we see 4 sentries. Although, like I said, it's been a little bit since I've casted a Protoss versus Protoss as well. Ooh. That adept almost ends up going down. Oh, actually, would you look at that? All right. So this is cool. Protoss versus Protoss in a weird way can sometimes be a little bit like rock, paper, scissors. Where Twilight Council beats, you know, when you go for the Blink upgrade, it beats Stargate. Stargate beats Robo, and Robo beats Twilight Council, right? So if you're going to go Stalker heavy, you get beat by Immortals. Immortals obviously can't shoot up, so they get beat by air units. And the air units obviously get beat by Blink Stalker, right? Now, I kind of like this here for Astrea. He decides to go into an Immortal, but then also a Stargate. So I don't really know exactly how this is going to play out. What's he going to go for? Okay, it's just going to be a Phoenix here. That makes sense. That way you can snipe your opponent's units quite easily. The Prism, that is. And obviously you can lift up your opponent's Immortals as well, which is also cool. I wonder actually if the Void Ray buff that they are considering for the next balance update is going to make a difference for... it's going to make a difference here for this particular matchup. Once again, man, Astrea has been forced to finish that wall off like 7 times already. Here comes PartinG with a relatively large force. The Phoenix has now been spotted as well. And the kills actually have been really, really nice right now for Astrea, right? The thing is, PartinG's really good with these units. He doesn't have Blink or anything just yet. He's actually going charge first. If he can kill the Nexus, that would be huge. Immortal, though, is coming up for Astrea. So I've got a feeling he's going to be able to hold on just fine. Nice force fields there as well. Not going to be able to pick up those units, it looks like. Ugh. Yeah, I think this is fine, right? He's got this defended. I don't think you necessarily want to continue pushing that PartinG. Yeah, okay. You probably just want to get out of there. All right. So holding on to that 3rd Nexus is huge right now, right? Because this is going to allow Astrea to grow at a significantly faster rate than PartinG. PartinG still not going actually for a 3rd base. Instead, he's now adding on 5 additional gateways there. So, well, this is going to be 8 gateways here in total. This will be scouted as well by Astrea this time around. Well, I'm assuming at the very least, this time around, not with hallucinated phoenixes, but with real ones. Knowing that your opponent is not going for a 3rd nexus, I mean, you don't even need to see the gates. It means that they're going to be spending their money on, well, he can technically pick that up. Yeah, he's gonna be spending his money, obviously, on... Man, why is he playing so risky with that phoenix? Anyways, he's gonna be spending his money on gateways, right, is what I'm trying to say. And if he's spending his money on gateways, then it means that it's pretty much always going to be an all-in. So Astrea right now, adding on a shield battery, adding on a photon cannon, adding on another shield battery. He's making all the right moves. I'm a fan. He's got a battery over here as well, just in case the Protoss player on the other side of the map decides to go for the natural expansion. He's even now going into robotics bay upgrades here, so probably recognized his opponent's charge at this point. Yep, look at how fast these speedy boys are. If you manage to get yourself a Colossus out, they're gonna be absolutely fantastic when it comes to dealing with those Zealots. Alright, so I think it's gonna be Archons and Zealots right now as a follow-up here from PartinG. Still though, man, I'm liking this position here a lot for Astrea. What are you gonna do here, PartinG? There's no way. He's even gonna finish up this little wall off over here too. Oh, you can kill a pylon? Nice, dude. Okay, well, you don't want to... Oh, my God. No! I was hyping you up. Okay, there we go. That was a little bit sloppy. Almost a disaster. He's going to be able to pick up those Immortals, though, and bring them back behind the force field wall, which is very, very critical. Still, this is the battle where the game will be decided. And obviously, those Archons and Zealots are very, very menacing. The Photon Cannon there does fall almost right away. A couple of the Adepts also get force fielded out. PartinG doing a good job so far making the best of this army composition, but the longer that this game goes on, the more stuff that Astrea will have, right? This Colossus, very, very helpful, just simply deals so much damage to all of those Zealots. Good control here. I mean, the Archons are running a little bit low, and I just don't see PartinG breaking this, right? How is he going to break this? Just not going to happen. Yeah. GG will be called, and that means that the score has been evened up. Now, I'm not gonna lie. It is pretty cool that Astrea has been getting better and better and better, right? So, for, I would say, like, the first 5 or 6 years of StarCraft 2's existence, it was the Koreans basically winning everything. I mean, we had Stefano, obviously, occasionally do really, really well against the Koreans. And obviously, we had, like, Neep eventually winning the Kespa Cup. But really, for the first few years of StarCraft, the Koreans were just dominating. I guess they had that practice regimen that they learned in StarCraft 1. I mean, in StarCraft 1, they are still by far the best country when it comes to, well, how do we say that? Producing pro gamers? No, that's not quite the right way of saying it. But you get what I'm trying to say. Like, the Koreans, they just simply are way superior, especially in StarCraft 1. Compared to players from literally any other country, right? Now, initially, like I said, for the first couple of years in SC2, that was kind of similar as well, but slowly but surely, non-Koreans caught up. Now, we had a term in the early days of StarCraft called the foreign hope, right? And you may have already guessed what it means. It means a player who might very well become better than the Koreans, right? A player who might be capable of beating the Koreans at their own game, which was basically what it was back then. Now, these days, obviously, I mean, we have many, many great non-Korean pro gamers. I mean, I'm thinking about Serral, Raynar, Clem, Neep has been really good, Scarlet has been really good. I mean, we've had a whole bunch of players that are ridiculously good, and certainly up there when it comes to competing with the best of the best. Now, can we still call Astrea the foreign hope? I don't really know exactly if that's necessarily a good title, because there are already so many, you know, foreigners, as in, like, non-Koreans, that are ridiculously good. But I still like, you know, I still like hearing the title every once in a while, because it's cool. I still like the word, you know. Because I think on average, I know on average, the Koreans are still by far the best at StarCraft, right? Anyways, let's see what PartinG decides to bring in this particular game. Looks like we have a bit of a swap in build orders. So this is kind of what PartinG ended up doing in game number 1. Astrea's like, you know what, hold my beer. I'm going to do the exact same build. I'll go for the faster expo this time around. I'll go for the single gateway. I'll cancel the adept there and go for a stalker instead. He's going to be able to get rid of this this pesky little probe here from PartinG quite easily. Now, PartinG, he's got to go for a cheeky one. Now, I can't help but notice, though, that that Proxy Stargate may very well end up getting scouted. Ooh, Astrea sees exactly what his opponent is going for. Doesn't show the opponent, though, that he's seen it. I don't think that was visible right there for PartinG. So the Proxy Stargate gets found immediately, and this is huge. This will right now allow Astrea to very, very easily counter this, right? I mean, one Proxy Oracle, it's not going to be able to deal that much damage. Now, I say very easily, he's going to have a much better shot at canceling this kind of aggression. He's even going to go for a full wall off right now at the front. That's kind of neat. So, Death Aura, it allows you to wall this front right over here with just a handful of structures. One structure less than on most of the other maps. Astrea, though, just simply marches into the opponent's main base. And, well, he's going to be able to figure out, as if he didn't already know, that there's no tech going on over there. I guess this will now, you know, give him the go-ahead to go full into the defense. So, Pylon coming up. Sentry already inside of the mineral line. These two bad boys are not going to be able to get anything done at the front. He's probably going to be able to now go for a shield battery as well. There it is. And while the Oracle is already out, is PartinG going to commit right away? Now, he might actually wait for just a little while. This is still actually something that can deal damage, though. Yeah, PartinG is actually going to go for the natural, which I do like. He probably knows that his opponent knows that he, you know, has gone for this Proxy Stargate. Let's see how many kills he can get. Man, he's taking his sweet time, though, getting to this side of the map. I almost feel like it wasn't worth the Proxy at all. So they're going to be running towards that shield battery right over there. An additional Stalker was warped in. 3 probes. At the cost of a Stargate, a Pylon, and then also a Oracle. Actually, even a second Oracle now, too. Second Oracle is in the back of the main base here of Astrea. I would not say that that is worth it, right? Or I would say that that's not worth it. I would not say that that is not worth it. There you go. I guess technically the truth. Just a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. Yeah, so that one shield battery over here, absolutely fantastic when it comes to keeping all of these units alive. And, well, I mean, while the Oracles obviously have some use later on into this game as well, they are generally speaking going to be kind of pointless going from here on out. Alright, so PartinG, following it up at this point with a Twilight Council upgrade. He's going to go straight into the Blink upgrade. And the same can be said for Astrea. I kind of feel like this is Astrea's game to maybe go for a push or just go ahead and pick up a third Nexus. Yeah, there you go. This is a very, very macro-focused play here from Astrea so far in general in this series. I think a lot of people would think, okay, I'm nicely ahead right now. I've got myself a solid amount of gateways already. What if I decide to plant down a couple more and then, you know, we just go for an all-out assault when the Blink upgrade finishes? I don't mind this idea at all, though, right? So when you're ahead, try to get more ahead. It's a really, really good piece of advice for when you're trying to improve in SC2. A lot of players try to get too fancy, or whenever they, you know, get an advantage, they capitalize on it a little bit too hard. And, you know, when you think about it, right? Astrea right now going for a push maybe gives him, like, I would say a 65 to 70% chance of beating his opponent. When he goes for an expansion, though, what exactly is PartinG going to be doing, right? Because right now, the move right now, it's basically on the, like, the ball is in the court of PartinG, right? Like, he's the one to make a move right at this point, and I feel like the chances of Astrea winning do go up, especially against someone with the micro capabilities of PartinG, right? He can get a lot of value out of these units defensively as well. Yeah, right now, it certainly ups the chances, I would say, of Astrea winning in the long run. So I don't mind it. And obviously, there's an upper limit there as well, but both players have Blink done at this point, so once more, of course, we see them moving out. Now, Astrea doesn't actually see this army on the left-hand side of the map, and he's actually committing a rather large amount of units to chasing down a couple of these Oracles and then potentially going after that Pylon over there, too. This might open up an opportunity here for PartinG to get some damage in. PartinG, by the way, no third Nexus or anything along those lines. Astrea knows this as well. He hasn't... Oh my god, Astrea is playing with the Diva announcer? Bro. Alright, well... Your base is under attack! Okay, that was my Diva, you know, cosplay. Cosplay? Sure. Let's go with that. Nice little bit of micro here by Astrea. That said, though, would say the micro is once again a little bit better here by PartinG. In the end, it doesn't really matter all too much here. Battery overcharge is what Astrea is backing up into right now, so that's going to allow him to keep these units a little bit safer. Blinking all over the place. I really feel like Astrea just needs to fight a little bit closer to his Nexus, yeah. Be close to the reinforcements, make sure that you're in range of the shield battery. It's going to make things a little bit easier. Prism has come across the map as well, so PartinG is looking to continue this aggression for a little while longer. A couple of probes in the meantime actually now die as well in the natural. Now this is good. PartinG still losing or using those Oracles from earlier, and this is actually going to even up the score quite a bit. This is a lot of damage right now being done. Oh my god. Ooh. Alright, 16 workers. Remember when I told you that those Oracles weren't worth it earlier? I take all of it back. Well, I didn't anticipate them killing an entire mineral line worth. I don't think that that should have necessarily happened, but Astrea decided to skip on the battery there. And obviously, he couldn't really warp in too many units at that location either. I really felt like he shouldn't be fighting out here. Like, you have batteries over here. Why would you... I don't know. Regardless, though, he does have, obviously, a very, very significant advantage right now when it comes to army supplies. Third Nexus has been acquired here by PartinG eventually. He finishes up 3 shield batteries. I don't think you're going to be able to really fight into that very easily, right? So this is where that advantage once again comes into play. Both players threatening the blinks constantly. Stand and fight, coward! And then they back off. And then the opponents blink, stand and fight! And then once again, you know, back off. It's a little bit of a weird matchup. Stalker versus Stalker. Anyway, PartinG is just simply following the opponent's units around. He knows very well where these Stalkers are located, so if they attempt to go into the main base, they are 100% stuck. Astrea just making sure that there's no base over in this location. And he's gonna be able to blink away once again. Gateways there eventually do get unpowered. Now, Astrea constantly wants to fight here, right? He's really trying to, but PartinG, I mean, he's not really giving it, right? He's not really giving him the opportunity to get a good engagement here at all. And I'm liking this position right now for the South Korean pro gamer quite a bit. Going for the additional gases here. Fourth Nexus, though, has been acquired here by Astrea. He's adding on additional gateways right now as well, going into the forge upgrades. Still actually only harvesting 2 gas geysers. So that's not a whole lot of gas income here whatsoever. If you look at the side of PartinG here, you can see that he has certainly plans to start teching up. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Templar Archives here coming up very, very shortly for PartinG. He's got a scary army, though. Maybe a Robo Bay? I like Robo Bays. I kind of want to see that that Stalker Disruptor unit composition. It's one of the most nail-biting engagements you can have in StarCraft 2, where both players are so heavily focused on Stalkers and Disruptors. There it is, by the way, Templar Archives. Well, there it is. That's just a photon cannon, Lowko. But the Templar Archives is going to be super helpful here to morph in those Archons. And obviously that way you can easily drop your gas back down to 0. Photon cannons coming up as well. I mean, PartinG really thinks he's just about to be attacked. And maybe he's right. Has he seen his opponent's 4th Nexus? He has not. So, he does have 2 sentries in this army composition. There's actually only 1 sentry right now for Astrea. So, he can't really spare the energy very easily at this point to scout for the 4th. I think if he knew about the 4th base, he wouldn't really be planning on making this much static defense. Oh my god, well, planning. He isn't even planning on it anymore. He already did it. He has planted down a ton of static defense over here at the 3rd base, even obstructing some of his own mining. This is a good position once again for Astrea, man. It's mostly PartinG anticipating a big push. Probably also thinking, okay, well, if I was in this scenario, I'd be pushing. But Astrea's like, no. Every single time, whenever he could, he just expands instead. I don't mind it. Additional Robos coming up. Robo Bay coming up as well. So this is going to be triple Robo production here very, very shortly for Astrea. Big blink forward, though, by PartinG. Obviously, he doesn't have that Immortal production or Disruptor production or Colossus production just yet. So PartinG does have an opportunity right now to showcase and flex his micro muscles once more. Astrea, though, bringing a pretty big group of Zealots to watch that 3rd base, but it's not going to happen. This is actually awful for Astrea, though. Ooh, yeah. Ugh. Well, they are actually very, very fast. So they can get out of here relatively easily. Blink, obviously, will continuously finish. Charge will finish as well, but looks like most of these Zealots will be allowed to escape at this point. PartinG does have an observer over here. Sees that Astrea is attempting a run-by towards his newly acquired 4th base. Looks like he actually recalled a bunch of the bad boys. Yep, there they go. They managed to make their way to the main base. Okay, so triple Disruptor production. Astrea's gonna get a very, very scary army very, very quickly. PartinG, though, focusing much more on a, I would say like a sturdy unit composition here. There's just a lot of firepower in this army here of PartinG. But obviously, yeah, Disruptors have the tendency to change battles very, very quickly. Well, that one's not gonna happen. So if you kill the Disruptor before the Purification Nova detonates, you can actually prevent the Purification Nova from detonating altogether. Disruptors are quite vulnerable while they are launching. Now, this position here for PartinG is quite good, but still the Zealots do manage to charge forward. Also, the blink up towards that high ground. Decent connection right there with one of these Disruptor hits. And actually, this position here for PartinG is not bad whatsoever. As long as the Zealots are charging at these Archons, they get picked up so very easily. Big warp in once again here for Astrea, though. The Photon Cannons in the natural also helping out. Disruptor's constantly trying to get some value in, but so far it's not really happening. Still, Defender's advantage in this matchup right now is massive. Utilizing those batteries and big Disruptor detonation there as well. Astrea should be able to hold on here as this game progresses. Now, he's got about a gajillion resources in the bank. There we go. Finally going to be able to spend some of them once again on a warp in. I think he's going to be able to hold this, right? Yeah. Defender's advantage with that battery overcharge is just insane. Using a couple of those Photon Cannons as well. I mean, it doesn't look like a lot of damage, but if a Photon Cannon shoots like 10 times during an engagement, that's a handful of Zealots, right? And it's just, yeah, it adds up. It adds up. Oof. Alright, now, 5th base. Every single time, dude. Every single time Astrea is ahead, well, maybe right now he will go attack and then also expend on the back of it, but he's always expending. Whenever he gets ahead, he's always expending. This is something you might want to start incorporating in your own games as well, rather than, yeah, trying to push for the victory. Expend instead. See how it goes. Try it out for a couple games. I mean, I know playing the long macro games can be scary, but I like it, man. Prism goes down. And I just, yeah, don't know if this army composition here for Astrea is going to be enough. No. Ooh. Nice bit of control there once again with those disruptors. Blinks at the last second. A little bit of damage is being done. Astrea may be overcommitting just a tad. Static defense over in this location is pretty insane. His alternative, though, is pushing into the 4th base, which is where the high ground is located. And I don't really think that is going to happen here anytime soon. Nice blink control, but I think at this point there's just too much stuff. Yeah, more stuff beats less stuff. GG is cold. And that means that Astrea actually obtains a lead right now in this series. Nice. Alrighty, so map number 4 is Pillars of Gold. And actually, would you look at that? The Protoss player here, spawning in the top section of the map, is already sending out a probe. But actually, would you look at that? At the exact same time, Astrea has decided to do the same thing. Oh my god, are they gonna meet in the center of the map? Becomes like the Spider-Man meme, you know? Like the No You one. Okay, nah, not quite. They're gonna be able to bypass each other in the night, which can create a very, very awkward situation, though. So, PartinG is going for one pylon inside of the main base. Still decides to plant down a pylon on his opponent's side of the map, too. Astrea, though, is skipping the pylon in the main base entirely. That does mean that he's gonna have way more money here, so I think he's probably gonna be planting down at least one additional gateway. They could obviously go for some cannon rush shenanigans as well. PartinG going for one gate right over here. What exactly is Astrea gonna do? So that's 2 gateways here. Okay, 2 gateways and a forge. 2 gateways and a forge. Now, PartinG is gonna look inside of his opponent's main base and see absolutely nothing. He sees that there's probes being produced, so that's worth something, but at this point he knows that his opponent has got something cheeky in store for him as well. This is PartinG going for like a softer cheese, okay? This is like a camembert, like a brie. For Astrea, though, this is like a solid 8, well, not 2H, right? Not 2H, but this is like a solid, dried out piece of cheese right over here. Is he gonna steal the gases? Oh my god, PartinG, I think you may have just sealed your own fate. No. Oh no. He just stole the gases, but he's not gonna be able to defend this very easily, right? So a Zealot is coming up here for PartinG. He's going to be planting down a cyber core over there too. Pylon already finished inside of the main base of PartinG as well, though. And that one was made by Astrea. He probably wants to save up a little bit of money so he could actually plant down multiple... oh my god. Yeah, multiple photon cannons. Well, does he actually need to, though? He could also just actually dedicate some money here to the defense, right? So making one photon cannon at home would be fantastic. Alright, well, here come the Zealots. Zealots inside of the main base right now, all for PartinG as well. Photon cannon coming up there too. He actually wanted to go after the pylon there for just a little bit. At the same time, the Zealot here for PartinG has also made his way to that mineral line too. Couple of probes going down. Now, how good is the micro going to be here for both players? There's a photon cannon too. And I think as soon as that one finishes up, right, this defense here for Astrea is going to be very, very easy. Already some long distance mining being done right now by PartinG. And I think this is pretty much game, right? What are you going to do at this point? There's a Stargate coming up. Hold up. Dude, PartinG is going to go straight into the Stargate right now as well. Both players just trying to see if they can get something cheeky done. Still, though, even if you... Okay, yeah, the Stargate actually got cancelled. Even if you... Even if you would go for an Oracle, what exactly are you going to get done with it, right? So he's going to go instead right now into a Stalker. Additional Zealots are still being produced right now. A lot of these probes, though, they have like 1 or 2 hits left of them. Or left on them, rather. And actually, PartinG is now going to be sending all of those bad boys across the map, too. All that Astrea needs to do is just hold on, right? Second pylon coming up here as well. He's buying so much time. Every single minute that goes by right now, he's mining like 800 minerals. His opponent is mining 0. A couple of Zealots get recalled as well, just to keep that pylon alive for a little while longer. And I think that this one is basically done, right? I mean, the Nexus has fallen inside of the main base of PartinG. He doesn't have the money right now for a full-on, you know, rebuilding of the Nexus. So instead, I think he's gonna go for an all-out assault inside of his opponent's main base. PartinG has not rebuilt their base and therefore is being revealed. I actually kind of feel that Astrea needs to be sending these Zealots back home. It's gonna be a very, very long walk. But I mean, all he needs to do right now is hold on to his Nexus, right? Actually, does he even need to hold on to his Nexus? Yeah, I think he does. He doesn't have a Cybercore or anything like that, so he can just get out-microed here very, very easily as well. I mean, these Zealots can be chased by a couple of these Stalkers all day, every day. PartinG is not going to mess up that control, right? I mean, he really wanted to get that probe. So Cybercore does finish here eventually as well. He actually took a little bit of hull damage there, which is kind of sloppy, but eventually those Zealots will get picked off. Stalker coming up here for Astrea, and obviously that one is on the other side of the map. PartinG has absolutely no production, so I'll be switching over right now towards the Units tab in the top section of the screen instead, the top left-hand corner. One probe over here in the bottom right-hand corner. He may attempt to maybe try and get a Vespian Geyser there, in case he would lose his final structures. Oh my god, well here come the Zealots. Micro is possible with all of these Stalkers against the Zealots. The problem is, though, that he's already inside of the main base, and he may actually kind of be up against a wall here very, very shortly. This is buying a bunch of time right now, though, for Astrea to get his own Stalkers out. They're coming up from the other side of the map, and they're currently walking across. Actually, oh my god, PartinG, are you doing this? So PartinG is getting rid of all of these Zealots. This is actually kind of crazy. Oh my god. This is so silly. So the problem is that there's production here for Astrea and there is none for PartinG, right? So at some point there will be at least 3 Stalkers here available as well for Astrea. The probes are pulled away from the mineral line. The Stalkers actually now hold position on the ramp to prevent those red Stalkers from coming down. I think that Stalker is dead, this Stalker is dead too, and that means that only 1 unit remains right now for PartinG. Additional reinforcements come from the side of PartinG. But it is going to be enough, and that means that GG is cold. And Astrea, even though I doubted him for just a little bit after that very first game, he actually obtains the victory in a 3-1 favor. I hope you enjoyed watching this series. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified as soon as future videos go live. For now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile, and I'll see you once again in that next one.